Vinyl community, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds video, and I have 20 records to show you, so I'm going to fly through them pretty quickly. I'm Jonas, this is Sublime Media, and I show you used records, in this video at least. So if you are used to the whole YouTube game, please subscribe, that helps out. I also have a Ko-Fi page where I upload more vlog-based content, so I'll leave the link down below. You can go and check that out, and if it's your thing, then I would love to have you there. So yeah, but let's start showing some records. Play music. Okay, so let's start with 4 cheap heat records. I'm gonna fly them through them, and if you're interested, pause this, take the title and look it up for yourself. But these are under 10 euro, like around 10 euro at least for these, and I recommend them highly. This is a Polish psych pop record, and I won't even slaughter the name. I think you could search for Niebiesko Czarny and you will get a hit on Discogs. Next one is this one, a folk record, Mary McCaslin, Good Night Everybody. That's 70s female folk, great. A few Beatles covers. Yeah, if you see it, grab it. This is insanely good. I actually read about this guy in Acid Archives and stumbled upon it. Cost next to nothing, and it's fantastic. Arthur G and the Whiz Band with City Cowboy. This is his second and last release, I think, if I understood it correctly. 70s, mid-70s, maybe, on Tumbleweed Records. Country folk record with acid and psych leanings. It's a little bit of everything. It's fantastic, and it's cheap. Get it. And the last one, highly recommended jazz record. It's been a while since I bought a Collablay record. I got this in a pile of records. The Collablay Band European Tour 1977. I think the third or fourth or fifth, something like that, of hers. There's the gang there. So you have Terry Adams, John Clark, Andrew Cyril, Elton Dean, Hugh Hopper, Michael Mantley, Roswell Rudd. And this is one of the best Collablay records I've ever heard. It's easy to get into. You just let the needles sink down on the first track and you go from there. It's so good, and it's cheap. Okay, so moving on to another sort of psych record. Maybe a 25-30 euro record, Gail Garnett and the Gentle Rain. I won't slaughter the title. This is a 2i Columbia 360 stereo. Great one. Reminds me of Jefferson Airplane and Zappa. A little bit of that freakiness of the psych, a little bit of that 70s sound, or late 60s, early 70s sound. Yeah, check it out. It's a cool record. Okay, this next one is a fantastic record. In my opinion, highly recommended. Check it out. This is definitely a surprise to me. I found it in a thrift store. And the name of this is the New Zealand Trading Company. They only made one record, only put out in the States, so I have no idea how it ended up here. I know that the incarnation of this group toured Europe for a while before the release of this, so maybe it has had some connections. I don't know. A Texas band that went to Memphis, actually getting signed by a girl, I think, that started a production company, and this was the first record that she produced and released. Memphis Records. It's very well recorded. She aimed for the best production that was available at the time, and you can hear every single detail and well played. A little bit of that soulful Memphisness in 70s or late 60s blues rock outfit. The thing is, the band is one English guy, 2 New Zealand guys, and 4 Spanish guys. So you have a pretty nice melting pot of different cultures to combine, and then going to Memphis with that Memphis sound and producing the record is just highly recommended. I think this is pretty hard to find actually outside of the States. So but see if you can find a copy, or at least check it out on online first. Memphis Records unfortunately only released maybe 10 singles and this full length, and the 10 singles were with 3 other artists, I think. So they started in 1969 and ended in late 1970. So I guess that's one of the reasons why this group never got to be anything. The Downliner Sect, this is a Charlie 1977 Charlie reissue with a different cover artwork. I think this is a sort of a cheapy reissue from late 70s. The Downliners Sect is a 60s UK garage band, and I think that one of the more acclaimed ones. It's good. I have to listen to it again a few times more maybe before it really sticks, but it's a well-known and often talked about band in sort of these collecting circuits. So yeah, the Downloading Sect. The next one, everyone knows about this. I think that everyone has this. This is my 3rd copy, I think. The other 2 I have sold, but this is a keeper. This is in near mint condition. Also a thrift find of all things. This is the Cowboy Junkies, the Trenty Session, 1989, their 2nd release, I think, and it's most famous for the recording. I mean, great songs, but the recording is just to die for. Recorded in a church with very little mics, very minimal. You can hear everything. You can hear a pin drop. The recording quality is fantastic. It's so glad to have it again. I think it's gonna stay this time. Yeah, from the big collection I bought was this. I was so surprised when I saw it. Original master recording. So this is a Mo-Fi record. The release is from 76, I think, but this is a 1978 press of it on Mo-Fi. And this is before the digital hoopla with Mo-Fi, so obviously it's analogically remastered. Yeah, you know, the deal. Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. It's a classic record. The song, The Year of the Cat, is a classic song. Recording quality, the production, and especially maybe the sound of this is phenomenal. But I don't like the record. I don't like the songs. I don't like the music. I could keep this and listen to it when I want to listen to my system, but I'm not that kind of collector. I want to listen to music. So this is definitely going to be sold. And this is actually the first press. They did another one 2 years later, but then Mo-Fi changed the original master recording up here for italic font instead. Okay, this is a gem. It's a beautiful day. It's a big, bad, beautiful day with choice and quality stuff. Fantastic cover artwork. I mean, we all know about It's a Beautiful Day in their debut, that blue, beautiful artwork. I think they are from San Francisco. Sounds like that anyway, with that sort of late 60s flanging Psych sound that could only be from the West Coast in that time period in the States. This is something completely different. This is their 3rd release. Much more rocky, much more maybe blues oriented than the other one. Great record, but in a different way of their debut, definitely. This next one is a total gem. This is P.P. Arnold's Kafunta. This is the 2nd record that she released, and I think the last one as a solo artist. and it looks like this. This is a first UK press, and not one that you see that often. Look at that cover. I mean, shit, this is the backside. It's so damn beautiful. On Immediate Records. This is the second one. The first one was called The First Lady of Immediate. I think that she was the first one out on the new label. I'm not 100% right. Sure. This is a gem of a record. P.P. Arnold was part of the Ikettes, so I think that she sang back up with Ike and Tina Turner. And when she was going towards a solo career, they unfortunately sort of tucked her into a musical and creative corner that she wasn't comfortable with. They wanted a pop star with radio songs, and I don't think that was her bag. They tried to do that on this, and the songs are fantastic, but I get it, maybe not the most radio friendly songs, and maybe she doesn't have the most radio friendly voice. I mean, I love her voice, but it's very special, and maybe that's why I love it. You have the first track, Letter to Bill, fantastic. God Only Knows, great cover on that one. Eleanor Rigby, so I have to say, Yesterday, and my favorite of the record, Angel of the Morning, also part of the collection. Really glad to add this to my collection. Okay, so the next one is this, and if there's one record you should take with you from the entire lot that I'm showing, it's this one. Like a 20-30 euro record, and it's one of the biggest surprises in recent years for me. This is a masterpiece from start to finish. So Barefoot Jerry has released a bunch of records. I haven't heard any more than this. This is the debut, 1971. This is a country rock record, but it's so much more than that. It's folky, it's progressive, it's a little bit psychedelic maybe, and it's poppy. It's very much a pop record, and you have to listen to it to really get what I mean. It has a life of its own, and when I dropped the needle the first time, I was blown away. And by the third track on the first side, called Smokey, my mind was blown away. So experience this by yourself. This is fantastic. Okay, so we started with Cheap Heat, and we are going to end this with 6 or something like that, much rarer records. So now we get into the rare sort of heart of the video. Always like to save them for last. This is Italian Prog when it's at its best. La Orme with Collage, their second release, and I think that they are still active today. They have released so many records. I would love to have their first one and also the fourth or fifth one, but other than that, I think I'm pretty set with La Orme. They are like PFM and Banco, if you know those Italian progressive bands. You can file this next to them. A little bit symphonic, very bombastic, and in its sound. It's not a 10 in my book, but as a Italian prog record, it's fantastic and a little bit rarer. I found this for a great price. So yeah, I'm really happy to be able to add this to the collection. 1970, I have had this on my want list since forever. This is a Swedish prog folk record called Arbete och Fritid. This is a great record that blends that sort of 60s, 70s rock with jazz and especially folk, a traditional Swedish folk. I gave this, when I rated it, when I logged it, a 5 out of 5. I think that it's that good. It's a masterpiece, and there is not a bad second on this one. Released on Sonnet, And most of Arbete and Fritid's records are worth seeking out. Okay, so the next one is again one that I've had on my want list. I've had a reissue since forever. Yeah, I'm really happy to have not the first, but one of the earlier pressings of this in perfect condition. This is Lucifer's Friend. This is a second German press from early to mid 70s on Philips. And this is heavy ass blues rock at its best. I don't know if I dare to say that this is a krautrock record. It's a German group with a British singer, John Luton, who went on to form Uriah Heep. So not because of the UK singer, but it's more a heavy blues or proto metal record in a way than a kraut record or a krautrock record. It doesn't have any spaciness all to it. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is a classic record. If you don't know it, obviously check it out. Your mind will melt. And the other of you that don't have an early pressing of this, yeah, jealousy factor is way up. I know. Okay, the next one. I can't believe I have this. I never thought that I would own a copy. I've been outbid so many times on eBay and Swedish eBay. But I managed to pick up a copy of this for a ridiculous price also. Not in the best condition, but I gave it a spin in the cleaner, and now it sounds fantastic. This is obviously Neil Young's debut record, only called Neil Young, and this is the cover artwork that was taken back because people didn't know who it was. So this got replaced by big letters that said Neil Young. Obviously a much better looking cover, this. And from a collector's standpoint also much cooler. This is the UK first press on Reprise or however you pronounce it. Stereo Pop series. And as the music goes, I mean, I've listened to this now a couple of times. I've had it before. A 70s reissue, Canadian, I think. I've had that before. I've listened to it a lot of times. Didn't do much for me, but now I really lent my ears to this, and I have to say that being a Neil Young record, it's not that bad. It has some really good songs, and some songs that is flat out un-Neilish in my opinion. There is better Neil Young records than this, but it's not as bad as I remembered it. Okay, so there once was a band from Texas called the Legends, and they had made themselves a sort of a reputation of being badass musicians. They toured in different bars and venues, stuff like that, but decided to go to LA to make it big. They got sort of management there, they got to release a record. I think that it was partly studio musicians, and they overdubbed stuff. They couldn't play because they weren't part of the union, so they were in LA. They couldn't get work, they couldn't promote the record. They had to go back to Texas to play, to go back to LA. Got the opportunity again to record a record, and this time they didn't listen at all to the management. They went with their own thing, and the result is the 1968 Dragonfly record. This is a monster. Like, I don't know what to say. Most of you, I think, know about this record because it's listed in different Psych and Prog lists and stuff like that. I'm just still in awe that I have a US first press of this. They did their thing. They called themselves, the record was called, or they were called Dragonfly, but as soon as they again went back to Texas again to continue playing, they went back to be called The Legend again. So this was just a one-off thing. This is heavy as hell. doesn't sound like 1968. It's much more heavier than that. It's a hard rock record, and it's brilliant. I'm so happy to finally be able to add that to the collection. When this fantastic record came out, no one knew what it was, and they filed it under with other religious records, because there was not a band name on the record. And this was also from that big collection that I bought, and it's hard to see, but this is the first press, UK press, of From Genesis to Revelation, Genesis first record. And this was later, it's almost like Spinal Tap's Smell My Fists record, all black. It was later, it said Genesis all over the album artwork. This is the stereo press, which is rare and hard to get and very expensive, but not at all as rare as the mono. I read somewhere that they pressed, I don't know how many it was, 5,000 on stereo and 2,500 of the mono, so just half of the mono. This sounds great, in fantastic condition, and this was a dream come true, really. One that I never thought I would own, because I would never pay that much money for it that it goes for. Okay, the next one and the final one I'm going to show you today is this, also from the collection. This is the Webb Terrafosa Blondie on DRAM. This is the first UK stereo press. Again, I've seen this in magazines. I don't think I've ever seen a physical copy of this. Maybe once in a store on the Holy Moly wall. But yeah, I've only dreamt of owning this. Also a very rare and expensive record. This is progressive. It's a little bit psychedelic. It has that DRAM sound. It's hard to really put your finger on it, but it has that DRAM sound. And what surprised me most was that it's a very poppy record, almost classic rock at times, which makes it very easy to just throw on and listen to. And what a cover. DRAM has some fantastic records, doesn't they? And this is one of them, definitely. Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Please comment. You know, I love the comments. It's the communication that I think is the best thing about this. And also have a great day. Talk to you in my next video. Bye. Well, no one's watching these videos all the way through, so you are probably the only one who's gonna see this part of the film. So I thank you so much for the support and for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.